Alright guys, we're getting ready to start up here. Go ahead and take that off so don't forget. So welcome to October 10th, 19... What do you need?
Why don't you help me get something up top?
Not going to happen right now. Should have been here 2 minutes ago. Anyway, sorry. So we are starting here. This is October 10th, 1970. Do you remember where you're at? October 10th, 2070. I have no idea where I was at. I was just, what, 4 years old? Yep, 4 years old in 1970. Anyways, we got a matchup here between Baltimore and Cincinnati. Of course, these are the two teams that ended up going into the World Series in 1970. And this is Status Pro Baseball Advanced. And we're going to be trying this again. And one of the cool things was, I know that we tried Status Pro not too long ago on my channel. We ran into some issues between the fast action flipper and the cards not giving us all the information and trying to figure out what the rules meant based on the cards I had, which just turned into a big cluster. So what I ended up doing was downloading, and you can join up on the Status Pro website. Actually, it's the Facebook page, Status Pro Advanced. And if you join them, and they are always posting new information and questions and a lot of really good stuff there, so I highly recommend it. One of the things you can do is actually download like a little demo version with the new charts and everything, and that's what I did. I ended up downloading the new edition with the new cards, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Where are we? Sports games, baseball, Status Pro. So, let's see. Nope, that's not it. That's not what I want. Nope, that's not what I want either. That's not what I want either. Of course not. Why would it be easy for me to find it? And that's not what I want either. Where are they? That's a good question. I got so many files now. I've been just downloading all kinds of different crazy things. But, what was it, 2013 rules? Sample 1970. Yeah, so there we go. All right, so it comes with these nice players, and it gives you the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. So you can download this yourself and try it out. You print out these two card sets, just like I've done, except for I didn't actually print them out. What I did was just obviously do what I normally do, and just take the image of each card, put it into a file for myself so I can use it. So you can do that yourself. It comes with all the different charts that we just looked at. And so yeah, if you're interested in this, it's all free download that you can get from their website. Or I keep calling it a website, but it's basically their the Facebook channel for Status Pro Advance. It's awesome. So what I ended up doing was taking the cards, obviously, as you can see, and let me say, these cards are beautifully well designed. Beautifully well designed. They look good. They play easy. Easy to understand. I didn't even really have to look at the rule books, but now a lot of our questions we had have been answered because we actually have cards that refer to like rules in the rule book. So, and of course they do come with the lefty-righty split here. So you can see here we got Pete Rose, and we have Jim Palmer here. Here's their OBR, which is their on-base running. Their SP, which it's about the only thing I'm not 100% sure on, if it's their speed or what this is. Their sacrifice, their hit and run, their injury, their fielding rating, and it shows you their outfield arm is a T4, and then starts in the different positions, and then their CD rating and their error rating. So for Pete Rose, who actually started this game in right field, we could just look under right field. He's a 3E0. So CD is clutch defense of 3, error rating of 0, and we have all of this important information outlined here in my little cards that I made up for the starting player. So you can see Pete Rose, right fielder. He's got an OBR B. He's got a CD rating of 3. He's got an error rating of 0 and an arm rating of T4. And that'll all come into play when we use the different charts and stuff. So a little bit easier, I think, to keep track of all that information with these little things here. Now there is quite a few cards, as you can see, charts that you have to use for the game. Most of the charts have been very easy to understand and pretty intuitive, so that's a good thing. I'm certainly not a Statis Pro expert at this point, but we are learning some stuff, and I think the games are going to go much better now that I actually have rules that match the card. So when it says look at the right side or the bottom of their card for their BD rating, I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Well, now we actually have cards with the BD rating. So, so that's cool. All right, so that's that. I've created these. These do not come in the game, but I just took the lineups and created like a little Excel spreadsheet that has all of the player information on it. And then I just took an image of those just so we can see them and have them, because I think you refer to this quite a bit. You will notice I do not have any dice rollers out here. There is a super cool, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. I'm going to actually expand this out so you can see this. If you want to actually use dice, there is a dice version that converts all of the different charts into a dice version. So if you just wanted to use dice version, you could use dice and not have to use the fast action cards, the FAC. We might try that eventually. I'm not going to try that right now because I think it's going to be more important just to get rolling with it, understand some stuff before we switch over to dice version. I think the dice version obviously will be easier for us because we're playing on the computer and I don't actually have a printout of the fast action cards. What I do have is another thing you can download from the website, Facebook, that is Statis Pro Advanced. There are several different FAQ flippers. So we can just flip the facts and gives us all the information randomly, blah, blah, blah. So this is what we're going to use. We're going to use the fact flipper, although I think you can get better randomization with dice than you can with the fact. But we're going to try it with the fact because that's kind of the default anyway. So that's what we're going to use until we get a couple games under our belt. All right, so if we go, there are some important things. Oop, where is it? All right, so in section G of the rule book here, it comes with the rule book to basically tells you how to play. Basically, the first thing you're going to be doing here before the game starts, each player is going to flip a fast action card against each of their starting pitchers and consult the random number and the appropriate ballpark chart to determine if the pitcher will have a great, normal, good, normal, bad, or terrible stuff. Each and every time a new pitcher is brought in the game, the owning player must fetch a fast action card to determine how the pitcher's stuff is. Blah, 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 blah. So it can increase or decrease their effectiveness based upon the roll, which I kind of think that's an interesting idea because, you don't want to have, some days pitchers are on their A game and sometimes they're not. So we are going to be using that. So for today's game, we're going to be going to see if I can find it here. Somewhere in here. Come on, where are you? Where are you? I had you highlighted. I must have. We're looking for Riverfront Stadium. Where is Riverfront Stadium? There it is. All right, so we're going to be using this column right here. I'm going to make this big so you can see. So this is their adjustment. So they can get better adjustment or worse adjustment based upon the stadium. So we'll be rolling, or we're going to be flipping over a fast action card to get a random number. You can see between 21 and 78, unless it's a 1 or an 8, you're going to be using your normal stuff. So let's try that. Really, I hate when it does that. All right, so let's see if we'll do the Baltimore pitcher first. Okay, well, no, not interested, thanks. Participate, pop-up channel. Huh? I can just remove that. Nope, nope, no, cancel. Remove the post because I'm not interested in your stupid crap. Thank you. Don't come to my channel and start posting stupid crap, please. All right. Anyways, back to live action here. So we're going to roll for Jim Palmer, which is the starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles today. We're going to be looking at a random number, and it is an 81. That is probably not good. An 81 means his PB is -1. Ooh, that is going to be interesting because that is going to adjust how well. Ugh. And now we'll roll it for the starting pitcher for Cincinnati, which is Gary Nolan. Get another random number. Oh, it's an 86. It's even worse. 86 is going to be a PB -2. Wow. Okay. Well, that's going to start off interesting. Ah, boy. All right. So if we look at that, what that means is if they normally, say, have a rating, Jim Palmer here has a rating of 2 to 7, it's going to go down one category, so it's going to go down to 4 to 7 instead. And if he has a 4 to 7, it's going to be a 2 to 6. So I better write this down so I don't forget. So he's going to be 2 to 7. Neither pitcher came with their A game. So 2 to 7 drops down to 4 to 7. So 4 to 7 against lefties. So I should put a lefties there. And against righties, he's going to be a 4 to 7 drops down to 2 to 6. Oops, I should probably expand this out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, and for this is really going to hurt. This is really going to hurt. Gary Nolan's a -2. What a roll on the -2. He is normally, oops, I need to slide this over. He is normally against lefties 2 to 7. It drops down 2 categories. He's going to be a lefty. Oops. Copy that and see if I can actually paste that here. All right, so we need to merge a few cells here. Oh, good Lord. And then we'll merge this cell as well. And we can merge all of those together so we can actually, what? What? I want you to merge, damn it. There we go. So, let's see. I'm going to need a left. There we go. So he's going to drop down to, he's a 2 to 7, drops down 2 categories, so it's going to be a 2 to 6. 2 to 6. And then against right-handers, he's a 4 to 7, which drops down to a 2 to 5. It's going to make things a little bit tougher for me because I'm going to have to look at these numbers and then look at this number, but I will do it for you guys. So I don't think this is like an optional rule. I think it's like built into the rules system, so it's Stolen base chart. I'm assuming that's like a default rule because it's just part of the rule book. And I think it makes it interesting because you can have pitchers that, maybe don't have such a great day or have a really good day. And I think that's pretty cool that you can adjust their stats on the fly. All right, so there we go. So the other thing to keep in mind is their starting rating, which for Jim Palmer is a 17. Every time they give up a walk, a hit, or a run, earned run that is, their rating will go down. And also, pitcher reduction. And the starting pitcher will have his SR reducted by 1 for each inning he starts, beginning with the 6th inning. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. So there we go. All right, so that's the basics out of the way. So let's look at today's lineup, if we shall. Here is our October 10th, 1970 Baltimore Orioles against the Cincinnati Reds. This is World Series game number 1. Starting off for Baltimore, Don Buford, left fielder. Batting second, Paul Blair, the center fielder. Batting third, Bog Powell, first baseman. Batting fourth, Frank Robinson in right field. And batting fifth, Brooks Robinson. The Robinson brothers there. No, I don't think they're brothers. Just third base. Batting sixth, Elrod Hendricks, the catcher. Batting seventh, Davey Johnson, second baseman. Batting eighth, Mark Belanger, shortstop. Batting ninth, this is going to be Jim Palmer, the pitcher. For the Cincinnati Redlegs, batting first in right field, Pete Rose. Batting second in center field, Bobby Dolan. Batting third in third base, Tony Perez. Batting fourth, the catching Johnny Bench. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Lee May. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Bernie Carbo. Batting seventh, second baseman, Tommy Helms. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Woody Woodward. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Gary Nolan. So those are the starting lineups today for your 1970 Game 1 World Series. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be flipping a card. We're going to be looking at the PB rating first, and only the PB rating. We can ignore everything else. This will determine whether or not we're going to be using the pitcher card or the batter's card based upon whether the PB number falls into their range. So if it's a left-hander, it's 4 to 7. And if it's a right-hander, it's 2 to 6. In this case, there's numbers here. BD is a special BD rating down here at the bottom of the cards. We also might get a CD, which is a clutch defense. So we're going to refer to their clutch defensive rating based upon who's batting. We can also have a Z card, which is a wild, rare play. So then once we get that and we figure that out, we're going to flip another card. And we're going to have a random number. We're going to use either the left-hander or right-hander. So Jim Palmer is a right-hander. So if it comes off of the Cincinnati Reds cards, we're going to be looking at the right-handed column because it's a right-handed pitcher. And then if it comes off the pitcher card, you're going to use either left or righty based upon Pete Rose bats both. Since he's a right-hander, he would be using the left-hander. And that's pretty much it. Then we're going to check to see where the ball goes, if there's an error, and then we move on to the next batter. So we'll be looking at some of the charts. We'll look at those. We'll talk about those when they come up. Mostly you're going to be using the base running chart, which is going to tell you what happens, and the out chart, which will tell you what happens out and out. These are probably the two most important ones. Occasionally using the base stealing chart or the sacrifice bunt chart, defensive option chart, the hit and run chart, bunting for hit chart. We'll be using those occasionally. We'll be using the clutch defensive chart, Occasionally, if a CD comes up on the PB number, error chart, if an error happens, we'll be looking at the rules occasionally, and then we already looked at one thing we can do is look at Riverfront Stadium, and we can, for deep fly, I wonder, can we do that? Yeah, let's do that. Cincinnati, deep fly. All right, let's see if we can add that to our somewhere up here-ish, maybe. We could put it underneath this and then just pull this down when we need it. That might be an option. All right. Let's look at Cincinnati deep fly. There we go. There we go. So put the deep fly results. I even got it highlighted, ready to go. So we'll look at those when they come up. I'll just hide that underneath this because it won't come up that often. Hopefully, we'll see. Never know. All right, so I think that's pretty much the setup. I think we are pretty much ready to go. I think we are. So, leading off for Cincinnati, Pete Rose against Jim Palmer. So Pete Rose is going to bat from the left-handed side. So Palmer on a 4-7 on this number will get read off of his card. Otherwise, it'll get read off of Pete Rose's card. So let's flip it. See what we get. It is a 7, so 4-7. So it is coming off of Palmer's card. Now we look at the random number. 27 against the left-hander. 27. 21 to 31 is a K. So actually, we got this screwed up. Cincinnati's at home. So that was just a practice one, just to kind of show you what happens. We're going to have to switch everything around here. Cincinnati will be defending first since they're at home. Okay, so that was just a practice, just to show you what we would do, just in case you weren't sure. All right, there we go. There we go. So Cincinnati pitching against Don Buford. Buford is a both. Gary Nolan is a right-hander, so we'll be looking on the right-hand column if it comes off of Don Buford. And he will be batting lefty, so we'll use the left-hand column on Gary Nolan if it comes off his card. All right, here we go. So now the game will actually begin. And the PB number is an 8. So it's going to come off of Don Buford, right-handed. And the number is a 74. That's going to be an out. Usually high numbers are going to be an auto out. Now we're going to look at what kind of out it is based upon he was an LP. So we're going to look at the LP section. Fit the flap. It's a G3A, so it's a ground ball hit to first. And then we're going to check for error, so we're going to flip one more time, and no error. So this is just a G3 out. One away. Brings up Paul Boyer against Gary Nolan. Righty versus righty. And so 2-5 will be on Gary Nolan's card. That's a Z result right off the bat. Okay, so we're going to bring up the Z chart, which is one of the only charts I don't think I have up here because I figured we're never going to use a Z. We're never going to use the Z chart. We could actually use this now because... Alright, so let's look at the Z results. We're going to have to rotate clockwise. Z chart. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go back to the beginning. Alright, so we're looking for a random number, which happens to be 56. Dun, 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 dun. 56. So 45 to 78, we're going to draw a CD. So we're going to draw a CD, and we're going to check for the Z fielding chart. Z fielding chart. Let's see if we can find the Z fielding chart. This is the first time I've done this, so Z fielding chart. All right. So we need to find out who the ball was hit to. So this is we know it was hit to. It was hit to. Where was it hit to? No, it wasn't it. That's right. That was the first batter. So we don't know. So we gotta flip up and find out where the ball was hit. He happens to be. Paul Blair was batting righty. So he's an RN, right-handed normal. So we're gonna look at that section, and it happens to be a L6. So it's hit to shortstop. So now we're going to look at, draw another random number and consult this chart. So we're going to flip up the chart. It's a random 12. So it's a roll. Oh, okay. So maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need to look at that. When Z comes up under the draw another random number and consult this chart. Z fielding chart. Base running situation. So runner on second would apply to. Okay, good. So the result was a 12. It's a slow roller to first. The pitcher CD plus 2. It's a G31A. If he's a CD 0 or 1, forgets to cover the bag. So we look at the pitcher, Gary Nolan, who has a CD rating of 2. So if he has a 2 or higher, it is going to be a 3-1 out, 3-1 ground out. If he had a CD of 0, 1, he forgot to cover the bag. So in this case, all that for just a simple little out to the pitcher. And I don't think you check for errors when you have a Z result. So it's just going to be a 3-1 put out for Paul Blair. So there we go. All right, that brings up the lefty. So 2 to 6, it's going to be off of Gary Nolan. And it is a 8, so it's coming off of Bog Powell. We're going to be using the right-handed side. And the number is 86. That's going to be an out. What kind of out is it? He is an LP. It's a G4 ground ball. Is there an error? No error. So G4 to end the inning. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. And now we can slide this over to this side. And we have us, what we should have had us, Pete Rose, Jim Palmer. Pete Rose is batting lefty. So 4 to 7, it'll be off of Jim Palmer. It is a 7. It didn't switch the number, but the rest of them switched. So sometimes it's hard to actually see if it actually rolled the number. So it is a 7, so it's coming off of Palmer. Palmer is batting lefty, so we'll flip up a random number, and that's a 14. That is a base hit by Pete Rose into center field. So that's an S. Let's put down the information. 1B8. I like that. 1B8. Now Pete Rose, if he wants to steal a base, we're going to look at his. Let's look at the base stealing chart. So base stealing, he is SP. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, so that's our steal rating. Okay, a C. So C rating is way down here. So you can see 1 to 14, 15 to 20 or 44 he would hold, 45 to 48 he would have an error. So C is not that great. It's not horrible, but it's not that bad. I think we'll just leave Pete Rose on base and go to Bobby Toland here. All right, against Jim Palmer, lefty versus right-hander. And the PBD is a... we're going to disregard the ones that come up and say SPC or better because I don't know what that means. So disregard. That is a 9, so it's going to come off of Bobby Tolan. And we actually have to take his number down from a 17 to a 16 because he allowed a base hit. There we go. That's what those numbers represent, remember? All right, so it's coming off of Bobby Tolan against the right-hander. The random number is going to be 41. 41 is a deep fly ball, so we are going to use this right off the bat. Get to use all of our fancy dancy charts. So here's Riverfront Stadium. See if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Yeah, that's pretty good. So 11 to 61 is going to be a home run to Bobby Tolan. Let's see. Random number is a 83, though. He rolls an 83. That is going to be a deep fly to center field. Deep fly to center field. So, F8. And DF8. If we look at our out chart, and we just scroll this down, DF8, FD8, I'm assuming that's what and we had a runner on first. And on a deep fly, star, so there's 2 stars. So it's an OB rating of A and B, only advances from first to second. So OBR rating of Pete Rose is a B. So on an A or B, actually, let's go back to that real quick. Where is that chart? No, that's not the right chart. Where is it? It was a... Sorry. Boy, it's like, oh yes, it was off of this chart. So yes, I needed to go back to that chart, actually. Where the hell is it? I think it was this one, yes. Okay, so let me go back to that because I think there's some rules about if you hit off of the deep chart. Maybe it's in the rule book. Let's look real quick. Hang on. Just everyone, calm down. Calm down, everyone. Let's roll back up. Roll back up. So deep. Batter hits a deep fly ball. Draw a new random number. Consult the stadium card to determine the result. A hit, all runners score. If a fly out, no error. Runners on second and third advance 1 base. So no advance on the fly out. Okay. I knew there was something. So I guess that's a little bit different than looking at the actual out chart. All right, so all that said and done, and Bobby Tolan's out. There we go. That brings up Tony Perez against Jim Palmer. So we're going to flip up a PB. He is batting right. So righty is 2 to 5, and we get a 6. Again, you can look at these numbers because this number won't always change because there's a lot of 5s, there's a lot of 6s, a lot of 7s. It's basically, shoot. Can I go back? I can go back. Oh, nope, because when I hit that, it just rolled a random number. So we know it's coming off of Perez's card. So we'll just flip up a new random number. That's going to be a right-hander, and it's going to be a 53. 53 is a strikeout for the second out of the inning. Brings up Johnny Bench. Still Pete Rose on at first. Johnny Bench is going to bat right. So 2 to 5. It's a 4, so it's coming off of Jim Palmer. And that is a 65 off of Palmer. Is an out. What kind of out is it? He is an RP. And RP is going to be a ground ball hit to short. G6 for the out. And after one complete, no score. One hit by Cincinnati. That brings up Frank Robinson. So we'll get a PB number of 8. That's going to be off of Frank Robinson. Random number of 46 against the righty. 46. 46 is going to be a strikeout. And another strikeout. That brings up Brooks Robinson. PB number of 8. So it's coming off of Brooks Robinson. Random number of 83. That's going to be an out. Oh, I keep forgetting. We got to check for errors too. Damn it. I always forget that. So Brooks Robinson is an RP. He hit it to short. Is it an error? No error. Okay, so G6 out. Two-way here for Elrod Hendricks. PB number against the lefty. 2-6. It's a 5, so it's coming off of Gary Nolan. 28 off of Gary Nolan. He is a lefty. 28 is going to be a strikeout. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Gary Nolan. That brings up Lee May against Jim Palmer. He's a righty. So let's see. Yeah, this is visitor. 2-6. It's a 6, so it's coming off of Palmer. Random number 17. That's going to be a single into a right field. Single in the right. Lee May. So Lee May, he's got a speed of D. We already looked at that. That's not so great. Oh, we got to check for error too. So error is error is 1-20 on the right fielder. Right fielder is Frank Robinson, who has an error rating of 8. So it will be an error. Now we got to roll to see what kind of error it is. He's an outfielder, so we'll flip the fact. It's an error 5. Error chart. It was a 1B9. So on a 1B9, 1B9, error 5. 1B9, error 5. Bad throw to lead base. Any runners advance 2 bases. Bad throw to the lead base. All right. So he was trying to throw it to second. It got by and goes all the way to the backstop. And it's a single onto third on the E9, if I'm reading that correctly. Single on third on the E9. So runner on third with nobody out here for Cincinnati. I think I did that right. Pretty sure I did. We shall see. We shall see. All right, so that was Lee May. Bernie Carbo. So we need a lefty against the visitor lefty. 4-7. It's a 6, so it's coming off of Jim Palmer. It's a 53 against the lefty. 53 is an out. And he is against the righty. He's an LP. So you liner to third. Ooh, this could be interesting. Out chart. Liner to third. Liner to third is just going to be a liner to third. Nothing special about it. Okay, I thought maybe they would double off the runner on third. Let's see. Third back. That was a liner to third. So it looks like it's just a 3L there. Okay, that's fine. L3 for the out. Big out there. No advancement on the play. The infield is going to play in. The infield is going to play in, though. I forgot to mention that, so I'm glad that didn't come back to bite me. Infield is going to play in with one away here. That brings up Tommy Helms. So if we look at there is some rules on that. Hopefully I'll get them right. Some of these will become hits. If we look at the rules, well, there's a lot of things that's come up in this first two innings. It's good though. We're learning lots of good stuff. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. A runner advancements, infield positions, back, corners in, guards line, defended by may wish to cut down a runner or to mark the game tracker with the permanent. There is no difference between the infield, back, or in unless the outcharge section states a different play result. If you're using the CD, sacrifice, or bunt ratings, we'll have to look at that. If they come up, infield back is the default setting, blah, blah. Infield in should be used, corners in, guarding the line. All right, well, we'll see what happens on the infield in for Tommy Helms against Jim Palmer. He is a righty, so 2-6. It's a 10, so it's coming off of Tommy Helms. Has a 42. That is an out. What kind of out is it? He is an RN. RN is a G5 to third. So he hit the ball G5A. So we're going to look at the out chart. G5A, we had a runner on third in. G5A, runner on third in is right here. So third in, it was a G5A. What was I looking at? Obviously, I don't know what I'm looking at. G5A. Oh yeah, right there. G5A. And it's going to be this result, which is in green. We look at the green. Due to defensive positioning, this out result becomes a hit. So because they're playing in, trying to cut down the runner, they get it by him on the hard ground ball. Gets it by the third baseman for a hit. And that's going to score a run by Tommy Helms. Unfortunately for them, that's a price you pay for having your infielder in. So that's going to be a 1B7. And Lee May comes in to score. And we're going to expand that out. And Tommy Helms gets himself an amber sign as he gets an RBI. Okay, got to remember a few things. Okay, first of all, check for error. So fit the fact. 18 to 20 error ratings. There's nobody with that high an error rating. The only one with the high one is Frank Robinson. So no error on the play. The other thing we need to check for is this is an unearned run, so he doesn't lose a he should have lost one on this single by Lee May, who ended up going to third on the bad throw in. And then he loses one on the single by Tommy Helms. So he should have a 17. He should be down to a 15. I think I might have taken it off of this one by accident. He has a 15, so no. Okay. So he's down to 15 as he doesn't lose one for having a non-earned run come in on the error. And that's that. That brings up Woody Woodward against Jim Palmer. He's a righty, righty, righty. Okay. And we look for a PB. A 7 against the right-hander is 2-6. Normally that would have gone on Jim Palmer, but because he's having a bad outing, now we go for the random number, and that's a 24 against Woody Woodward. 24 is going to be a double, a 2B7 by Woody Woodward. 2B7 with the runner on first. That is a... We're going to use this chart this time. So it's a 2B7, so it's a double. 2B7, what's that number? 24. 2B7, so left field. All right, so I just have to find a right chart here. Double to the outfield, runner on first. Additional modifiers, if it goes to center field, he gets a +1 to his OBR. So on first base is Tommy Helms. Tommy Helms is a B rater, a B runner. So, if it's 11-34, he scores. If it's a 35-48, he goes first to third. Otherwise, he just goes. Well, that doesn't make much sense because he's automatically going to double off the batter's card. It was actually off the pitcher's card, right? It was off. No, it was off of his card. It was off the batter's card. Against a righty, it was a 24, 2B7. It was off of batter's card. Single, 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 single. Double outfielder runner on first. Double off the batter's card. He has a B run rating. So it goes up to 48. Why would it only go to 48? 35 to... Just looking. I know we got the challenge rating down here, but what about... Oh, okay, so you're going to check either... You're going to check... I get it. Okay, so you're going to check either the runner speed or you're going to check the thrower to find out whether or not. So depending on where you roll, that determines... I got it. Okay, makes sense now. So we're going to roll a random number who happens to come up as 25. 25 is going to be, he is a B rater, a B runner. Good old Tommy Helms is a B runner. So 11-34, he's going to score. So he comes in all the way around on the double. And that's going to be an amber sign because that's going to score a run. And coming all the way home on the hit, is going to be Tommy Helms, 2-0 for the Big Reds. And now we have to check for an error result. Makes sense once you look at it and just try to figure it out. It does make a lot of sense. So we're going to check for error rating. No error. Okay. So, big inning so far. Only one out, runner on second. That brings up Gary Nolan, the pitcher. He has the same card, which is ingenious, but his batting numbers are over here. His batting numbers are over here. So, Jim Calmer against the righty. He's an RN. So he's going to bat right. Gary Nolan. So let's flip up a card against a righty. Oh, wait. We need to adjust his. That's another thing I keep forgetting. So hit and a run scored. So he's going to drop several more. Points. So he's down to 13. All right. So now we check. Is it off of? We got a PB number of 5 against the right-hander. So 2 to 6 is going to be off Palmer card. So it's coming off of Palmer's card. And it is a 48 against the right-hander. 48. It's going to be an out. He's an RN, so we're going to look at RN number. That's a fly ball to center field. Fly ball to center field, F8. So let's look at the out chart, F8, just to make sure the runner on second can't tag up. Let's see. F8 with the runner on second. Yeah, runner on second is just a simple F8. Just wanted to double check that. Okay. So it's an F8, second out for Gary Nolan there. F8. No advancement. That brings up the top of the lineup, Pete Rose, who got a single in the first. So he's batting from the left side. So lefty 4 to 7 to 9. So it's coming off of Pete Rose's card. And the number is a 51. That is going to be a walk by Pete Rose. Walks it to first base. So runners on first and second for Bobby Tolan, who flied to center his first time up. He bats left, so 4 to 7 will be off of Palmer. It's a CD result. So CD. All right, so let's just go through this. I'm pretty sure I know how to run this one, but let's just double check, right? All right, so CD. Let's look at the CD basic, blah, blah, blah. All right, if it's a CD, flip a new fact and determine the position based upon next to the batter. So the batter is batting left against a right-hander, so he's an LN. So we're going to look at this LN number, GX4. So it's going to be hit to second base. So we're going to look at second baseman's CD of 4, Davey Johnson, right? And we're going to go to our CD chart. We're going to look at the second baseman, first baseman, no, second baseman. And we're going to roll on the fourth column here and find out what happens. Well, we need a random number. It's a 57, 457. It's going to be that number right there, which happens to read, can't get to the grounder up the middle, singles, runners advance 2 bases. So single by Bobby Tolan, and things still unwinding here for the Orioles. And that's going to score, everyone advances 2 bases, so Pete Rose is going to third. Coming home is going to be Woody Woodward. Hope that's a home. That's 1 amber sign. Pete Rose goes to third on the play. And we have 1 amber sign for Bobby Tolan. No. Bobby Tolan has 1 amber sign. There we go. S1. So you got a single. So runners on the corners, 2 away for Tony Perez. They already have 3 runs in. All right, so I need to adjust his so runs scored and another hit. So down by another 2, and Jim Palmer is down to an 11 here, not having a very good second inning. And now that brings up Tony Perez. Tony Perez is batting right. So 2-6 will be off of Palmer's card. It's a 7, so it's coming off of Perez. It's a random number of 26. That is going to be another double. Another double. Let's see. That is going to be a 26. That's going to be a double into right. DB9 against DB9. So Pete Rose is coming in. We're going to find out if Bobby Tolan, center fielder, Bobby Tolan, he's got an OBR of A. He's got an OBR of A. So we're going to roll on the double chart again here to find out if he comes home. It's a 55 this time. This time we're going to be looking at, it looks like the thrower, it was into right field. So that's Frank Robinson. That's a T3. So T3, we rolled a 55. So that is going to be in the scores category. T3 51-68. Doesn't have the arm to throw him out. So Bobby Tolan comes all the way around to score. Pete Rose comes in to score. Oh my gosh. That might be it for Jim Palmer here. He's coming in to score on the double. And that's going to be, what, 2 amber signs for Tony Perez, 2 RBIs. So it's a hit and 2 more runs, so that's going to drop him down to an 8. Wow, he's dropping fast here. That brings up Johnny Bench, grounded to short his first time up. And they've batted, this will be the 9th batter of the inning. Wow. All right. Are they going to leave Palmer in the second inning here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs in already. Jeez, they gotta hope they can get Johnny Bench out and just sit Palmer down in between innings and settle him down. All right, righty versus righty. So 2-6, it's off of Palmer. It's a 6, so it's off of Palmer. The number's a 23 is not a good number. That is a G6, actually, so that is a good number. Wow, just 23, just barely a G6 to end the inning. Wow, what an inning for the Redlegs, though. Third out of the inning. And we'll take a look at the scorecard here. So leading off was Lee May with the single. Bernie Carbo lined a first base for the out. And Tommy Helms came in and hit a single. Woody Woodward came in and hit a double. Gary Nolan flied out. Then a walk to Pete Rose, then a single by Bobby Tolan, then a double by Tony Perez, and then Johnny Bench finally grounded to short. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs. And the big red machine takes the lead, and that's how many hits? 5 runs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. So they're up to 6 hits. And Baltimore did make an error on that play there on the single in E9. Whew. So if we look at this, I'm just trying to make sure Palmer's ratings are right. So he lost 1 for the single there. He lost just 1 for the single there. That's 2. He lost 1 for the single there. He does not lose 1 for the run scoring because it was an error. So that's 3. He lost 4, 5. A walk is 6. 7, and the run scores 8, 9, 10, 11. He should be down 11 points. He started with 17. 11 from 17 should be down to 6. I think I missed a couple there. That's why I wanted to double check. Walk does count as a minus. I had to remember to do that. I do have to remember to do that. Apologize for that. So, that's it for the big second inning for the Reds. Take a 5-0 lead. That brings up Davy Johnson. Davy Johnson's second baseman. Gary Nolan, he's batting right-handed, so Gary Nolan 2-5. It'll read off of Nolan's card. It is a 7, so it's coming up for Davy Johnson. It's a 32. That's going to be a home run. Oh my gosh, excuse me. That is going to be a home run, and I don't think you do anything special in this game when you get an HR result. I think it's just a home run. Let's just double check just to make sure. Home run, deep home run. All runners score. Yep. Okay, so it's just a home run. So Davy Johnson cranks one for the first hit of the game. And that, oops. Oh my gosh. Let's try this again. You know what? There we go. Home run for Davy Johnson, and that's going to knock down Gary Nolan 2 spots, so he's down to 13. Don't have to check for an error on that one. So you do have to remember to keep checking for errors. It's not that hard, but just have to remember to do it, I guess. So Davy Johnson, 1 for 1 with the home run. Mark Belanger. Mark Belanger is a righty, so it'll be 2-5. It's a BD result. So, speaking of BD results, let's look at the BD. Clutch hitting with men on base. Check the bottom of the batter's card. We'll have an RN number range. If runners on base, draw a new RN number. Consult the BD chart. Any hit will score. All runners do not check for errors. If out, proceed to out chart. The pitcher's clutch rating will modify the RN draw for BD results. If there are no runners on base, draw a new PB and resolve the play normally. Okay, so there's nobody on base, so we'll just resolve a new CD. Oh, we got a CD check. CD check is going to RN. We're going to look at the RN section. G6, so shortstop, which happens to be Woodward. We're going to check his CD rating of 5. That is very good. Woodward has got a 5 rating. So we are going to go to CD. That is a shortstop. He's got a 5 rating. We're going to roll right there. We need a new number first. The first number is going to be a 52. So a 5 shortstop, 52 is going to be that result. Oops, nope. It's going to be that result right there. Grounder drilled up the middle, cut off, 6-3 double play if runner first, or lead runner out trying to advance if less than 2 outs. So great play by Woodward off a hard grounder up the middle. It's cut off. Would have been a double play, but no need for double plays as there's no one on. That is going to be a G6 out. And I'm going to put a little. I'm going to put the pound sign. There we go. Pound sign meaning it's a great play. All right, that's as simple as that goes. Good. That brings up Jim Palmer, but do they pinch hit for Palmer here? Do they want to bring him out? They're going to try and get at least 3 or 4 innings out of him. Jeez Louise, what's his number down to? He's down to a 6. All right, let's leave him in and see. Palmer says he's okay. He just had a bad couple. So Palmer versus Nolan here. It is a 8 coming off of Palmer's card. They don't have lefty righty splits on the batters. With the pitchers batting section, there's no lefty righty, so it's just this section. So it's either deep, a strikeout, or an out, one or the other. It's a 54. That's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. Strikeout to end the inning. So 1 hit, 1 run, no errors. After 2.5 complete, it's 5-1. Can Baltimore mount a little bit of a comeback here? That brings up Lee May, who started off the second inning with a single, going to third on the double by Frank Robinson's 2-base error. If I do anything incorrectly, let me know, guys, so I can make sure I correct it next time. So we'll see. Lee May is a righty, so 2-6. It just actually went, so it's a 9, so it's coming off of Lee May. Number is a 34. 34 is a strikeout, so Palmer comes right back and decides to get in the game. Bernie Carbo. That is going to be a lefty, so 4-7. It's a CD. All right, CD goes to LP, so we're going to look at the LP section. Goes to center field. And the center fielder is Paul Blair. He's got a CD of 5. So center fielder, clutch defense. Outfielder, he is a 5. You can see that's the best category you can get. And the number is going to be a 35. Diving catch on a blooper, runner's hold. So diving stop, awesome play there by Paul Blair. And that is going to be a simple F8, but it wasn't routine as I put another pound sign there to show a wonderful defensive play. That brings up Tommy Helms, who singled in the second. He's a righty, so 2-6. It's a 2. So it's going off of Jim Palmer's card, and the number is an 83. That is an out. He's an RN. That's a fly ball to 7, and error check, no error check. Got to remember to do that. So that's an F7, and Palmer does what he's asked to do. Comes back out. That's up nothing as a strikeout, a fly ball to center field, and a fly ball to left field. Great play there by Paul Blair to keep the Orioles in this. And we got a third of the game done. I know it's gone pretty long. So what I might do is just break this session up and continue it in a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. And we'll come back with the live stream and pick this up there. So be sure to look for the next live stream or the next video if you're watching this later on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in the next episode.